Hey, have you heard about radon? Have you had your home tested? Do you have a radon mitigation system in your home? I'm Tom Miller with Remax Real Estate Group. Today on my video blog, we're going to talk to you about radon mitigation and what you need to know to keep your family safe. So stay tuned. All right, well, thanks for tuning in today. I'm super excited. I'm here with David Reemer from Quality Inspection Service, my favorite home inspector. He's also a radon specialist. I'm in the process of finishing my basement right now and wanted to make sure my family's safe, so I had David come over and do a radon test. He's going to show us a little bit how that works, but we thought we'd start outside right now. I had him install this radon system on my house and want to show you what that's all about. So David, what are we looking at here?
Absolutely. This is the radon system. In fact, this is the fan. That's what is drawing the air from beneath the basement, and it is exhausting outside. And this is our exhaust pipe. Some other pieces of the system, a disconnect box, and that is so that we can shut off the system if the fan goes bad or something else occurs. And then also a cover, and this is what goes over the fan, and that protects it from weather.
Awesome. So, and does this fan run continuously?
This fan does run continuously, 24/7, forever. These fans are designed to last for years and years. In fact, we have some fans that are over 30 years old still running.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and when we go in the basement, you're going to show us a little gauge on your system that tells us how that's working.
Absolutely.
And talk about how that works real quick. So this creates vacuum?
Exactly. So what we're doing is we're creating suction, and we're pulling air from beneath the floor of the basement and exhausting outside. And what we're doing is we're catching that radon, and in fact we're catching mildews, molds, we're catching humidity, any type of soil gas. We're actually intercepting that and exhausting it outside.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, let's go inside and take a look at what you did inside.
Perfect.
All right, so David, this is the system that you installed here. So inside of the house, talk to us about what all we got here.
Absolutely. So what we've done here, first off, you had a new sump pump installed before we got here, and you put in a battery backup, which is a great idea. Since we have to seal up the sump, it's a good idea to change a sump pump or things like that prior to the system being installed. So,
yeah, and so this is just like an opportune time if somebody doesn't have a battery backup.
Yes,
it's a great time to do that.
Absolutely, because as you can see, one of the things that we do, we've put a new two-piece sealing cover on the sump, and that is now caulked and sealed down. So it's now a little more difficult to get into the sump, but it still can be done. In fact, one of the things that we do on our system is we put vertical couplings on it so that it can be easily taken apart if need be, if you need to service the pump. But what you see here is a new lid that, and this lid has a clear viewing port on it, so you can look down into the pit, so you can see where your water levels are, things like that. And this pipe is the radon system itself. So this device is called a manometer, and what that does is it shows that the system is active. It shows that there's airflow, and so we're looking at it, and it shows that it's about 3/4 inch of water column, which is exactly what we're looking for. Shows that we've got good airflow under the home.
Awesome. So real quick, just talk about the whole purpose behind a radon system and what it actually does.
Absolutely. So radon is coming up from the earth, and so what we're doing here is we're intercepting that radon before it can come into the home. And what this system does is it has a fan on the outside that basically is pulling air from beneath the floor of the basement and exhausting outside where it can dissipate into the atmosphere. So we're basically catching that radon before it can come in.
Awesome. And what is radon?
Radon is the breakdown of uranium, and basically it's a gas form of radioactive material that if you breathe it in, it can give you lung cancer. So that is the concern.
Okay. And this comes up frequently in real estate transactions today. Now, I think I'm correct when I say there is no state law regarding anybody to do anything about radon at this point.
That is correct. The state of Iowa does not have any requirements that you must test or that you must mitigate if you have radon in homes. So testing for radon, looking for radon is something that people do at their own.
Absolutely. And if somebody has owned their home for a while, maybe has a finished basement or spends a lot of time in their basement, what are some things they can do to find out if they've got radon?
Well, best thing to do is to test, and to do that, you can either hire someone who, like myself, who does radon testing, or another way is most of the counties have do-it-yourself test kits that you can purchase for about $5 or $6. Polk County is a great one. You can go online and Google Polk County radon kit, and it will take you to that website, and then you basically run that kit for a few days in your basement, send it to the lab, and they will send you your results and let you know what levels of radon you have.
Awesome. And those tests from the county, are they pretty accurate?
They are. The biggest thing on that test is you want to close it and get it to the lab as quickly as possible. So I always recommend running it over a weekend, and then Monday close it, put it in the mail, and if you can, send it overnight mail. The faster they get it, the more accurate that test will be, and if you do that, it will be very precise.
Awesome. And you just installed this kit in this is my personal home.
Yes.
Once you're done, you retest. So let's show them what your testing system looks like.
Absolutely.
All right. So David, tell us a little bit about your testing setup, why you use this system, and give our viewers some tips about radon tests.
Absolutely. This is our testing equipment. This is femtotech equipment. In fact, you just saw it blink saying it caught a alpha disintegration. But what we do with this test kit is we set it in your lowest livable level, and for most people in Iowa, that's their basement. And what we're looking for is to set it away from places where you're going to have drafts, meaning you don't put it under a vent, or you don't put it in the pathway from the sump to the staircase, like it is here. We'll move this later. But what this instrument does is it records radon. It also is a full weather station, so that if we're testing a home for someone purchasing it, it will tell us if someone is opening windows or trying to ventilate the space. This instrument also has movement detection, so as I'm picking it up right here, it's actually recording that it's being touched.
Oh, awesome. So when we ran the test to determine whether we had radon in our basement or not, I called you about 4 hours after you started that test and said, hey, should I have the house closed up? And you said, yeah. And when you printed out the results, it showed that immediately when I closed the house up.
Absolutely. That is the nice thing about professional equipment, is you can see that sort of thing. Well, if you're going to do the do-it-yourself test kit, you will close up the home so you have accurate results. And actually, you want to make sure the home is closed 12 hours before starting your short-term test.
Gotcha. So what are some tips for people that are going to like that are thinking about getting a radon test or going to have one done? What do they need to do to be ready for that?
Well, you're looking to make sure that you have accurate conditions, and that means weather, that means closing the home. You want to basically act like it's January 1st and keep the home closed other than normal brief entry exit. You also do not want to be testing during high winds or during storms. As storms move in, that basically creates a vacuum in the house that pulls air out of the home, and that also pulls radon into the house. So we don't test while there's big storms moving through as well.
Awesome. Those are great tips. All right. Well, David, thanks so much today for telling people about radon and radon kits and that type of thing. If people have questions about whether they have radon in their house or not, where can they get more information, and why don't you give them your contact information in case they want to have a kit installed?
Absolutely. Best place to go for any information on radon is the State Health Department's website. In fact, that's where you can go to find out who mitigators are, where testers are, and that way you can get more information on radon in general, and also people who can help you deal with radon. My company is Radon of Iowa. Quality Inspection is our home inspection company, but if you want to contact us, our phone number is 515-253-9100.
Awesome. And we'll put some links below this video on both the State Health Department, and I know the EPA's got some good information about radon as well. So we'll make sure that you've got links to that information so you can learn all that you want about radon. David, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.